Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And on today's episode of Going in Raw, we're talking last night's AEW Dynamite and the topic du jour amongst many wrestling fans, including here at Going in Raw. What the hell are they doing with the women's division? Why is it such an afterthought? We've got some sad truths about AEW and how they book their women's division. And I'm looking at the notes right here, and that's what we're talking about.
Yep.
Nothing
news.
Else.
I mean, I found something a little bit like Drew McIntyre had an interview where he said there was some smoke to the fire about some of the rumors about why he was with WWE. But there you go. That was a news story.
Yeah. It was basically like the subtext of that Drew McIntyre interview was what Fightful said was right, and what user 5369X said was a bunch of bullshit. I think that's sort of what you get from that, right? It's like, Fightful knows what they're doing, and then there's a bunch of random shit on Twitter. But kind of much ado about nothing, But I did see this, and it was punctuated. There was a Brit Baker versus Taya Valkyrie match last night on Dynamite, and to be honest,
that was pretty solid. It was a solid bout.
Yeah, there was a little bit of sloppiness, but they recovered pretty well, and it was what it was. In a vacuum, the match was whatever. But man, between last week on Blood and Guts, and again, this is according to Dave Meltzer, who I think is plugged into the AEW stuff, and this might have been a little bit of speculation, I don't know, but it seemed like literally the 23-second match or whatever it was that Britt Baker had last week was sort of like, oh crap. We've booked the entire show and everything has squeezed. We don't have any room for a women's match. Let's go ahead and throw this one out there. And then on Collision, you had Taya Valkyrie versus Sky Blue. Taya wins that, calls out Britt Baker for this. And that's sort of the extent of what they have going on right now.
Yeah. Like, where have the Outcasts been?
Right.
We haven't seen Ruby since she lost to Willow in the Owen tournament. Toni Storm hasn't defended her title in a while. Saraya hasn't been on TV.
Haven't seen Willow since she won the Owen, and Ricky Starks came out the very next week.
Yeah, with a bunch of pyro. Yeah, Willow got a video package.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, right there is a juxtaposition seemingly in priority in terms of how Tony Khan books his divisions. Like, how come Willow didn't get $1 million worth of pyro and a full celebratory thing for her for winning this tournament? And you could have, like the other side of the coin where Ricky comes out and he's behaving like a heel, super arrogant. Willow comes out with a bunch of pyro, and it's a celebration. And that's a moment for her, especially, that could be pretty massive after, being New Japan Strong Women's Champion, and then now winning the Owen. That's and you could use the celebration to really be the kickstart of a push. But do they do that? No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Because it's and honestly, I titled this video "The Sad Truth About AEW's Women's Division," and this is something that I'll honestly never forget, because it did just seem sort of like months ago, somebody on Twitter was complaining, because Dave Meltzer will often engage with people who are fans on social media. He's sort of taken that approach to it, and the person was complaining about the women's division booking in AEW, and Dave's response was, Are you going to watch this weekend's big Stardom show, because it's nothing but women's wrestling? And it was sort of meant as like, oh, this is fake outrage because you would be celebrating something else as opposed to complaining about something that. But I sort of buried within or hidden, or the subtext to me was, the bottom line is, if you like women's wrestling and you want to see women's wrestling, you ain't going to get it in AEW. And it's a sad fact for the women that work there, because they're sitting in the back like, well, maybe I'll get a spot on Ring of Honor, because they had a pay-per-view main event on Ring of Honor that by all accounts was absolutely fantastic. And why that's not put on cable television is completely beyond me.
Yeah. I know.
And I don't know what the deal is, but I don't know why he simply didn't launch AEW without a women's division. If you're going to treat it as an afterthought, why act like it matters at all? Or why act like you're going, like, why have one in the first place? You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like we watched New Japan, and I'm going to bring this up because I'm legitimately curious to see what your side of this argument would be. We watch New Japan. We don't complain about, well, we don't watch New Japan, but we keep up with New Japan, and not once have we ever complained that they don't have a women's division. Why? Because they don't have a women's division. Because they do, culturally, they do things different over there. There's a whole other company over there. They're owned by the same thing now.
Yeah, the same parent company. Yeah.
Right, all owned by Bushiroad.
New Japan and started. But there's several
there's several
promotions in Japan, yeah.
Exactly. Over here, it's not done that. Over here, typically, the women's division is integrated into the men's, the entirety of the program. WWE's established that, and WCW did not. They had a women's title, but they did not have much of a women's division at all.
Barely.
Like Medusa would show up from time to time, but then like they liked Medusa, so they just kept her for the cruiserweight title.
Yeah.
And so. I don't know, like, should they just abandon the women's division? I mean, they should just do better, but that just doesn't seem likely at this point. It's been 4 years, and it's been the same complaint over and over again. And I'm sorry, people claiming that WWE is on the same ground. Look, WWE has plenty of problems with the women's division. It ain't even close. It ain't even close. There are, how many matches leading into SummerSlam with actual feuds? You can quibble about the quality. It ain't close.
No.
Those are feuds that are on TV every single week. Time is sketched out for those feuds every single week. AEW, it's a completely different situation.
It really is. I mean, AEW, Tony Khan seemingly puts forth no creative energy in terms of, or if it is any creative energy, the absolute minimum, in terms of putting together storylines for AEW's women's division. And I was thinking about this the other day and how, like, right now, the MJF Adam Cole stuff is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not like they have a lot of backstory.
Right.
It's not like the Elite, who have been a unit for years and years and years, have a wealth of backstory to reference to add dimension and depth and complexity to their stories.
Mm-hmm.
With MJF and Adam Cole, this is something that's, 5 weeks old?
Right, yeah.
Something like that. And it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Where's this level of attention in the women's division to develop characters and tell these types of stories?
Right. Yeah.
It's not something that you need to have a wealth of backstory to reference it during your story. You just find two competitors, two talents. You want to tell an interesting and intriguing story. You have some sort of instigating incident that leads to the story being told, and you come up with an interesting story to develop these characters. And I can maybe think of a couple instances where it seemed like that was going to happen, but by and large, it never really comes to fruition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the onset of the Outcast versus homegrown talent thing. It's like, oh, okay, this is something interesting.
Right, yeah.
That they could tell a story that eventually encompasses maybe the entirety of the women's division AEW. It would lead to loose alliances being formed between people that want to join up with the Outcast versus the homegrown talents. They bring in more women from the division to be featured on TV. There's a possibility here this could be really good for the entirety of the women's division. And it just seemingly focused on the same 6 competitors week after week.
Yeah.
They didn't expand it. They didn't grow it. They didn't make it be like the A story on the show, which it could have been.
Yeah.
And it just kind of sat there. And you'd have variations of matches with the same competitors over the course of a couple months. And I guess for Tony Khan, that was his idea of telling a story, and it just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
And it didn't lead to anything larger for really anybody involved, or at least it hasn't yet, except maybe Willow. Willow's coming out of she's New Japan Strong Champion now. She won the Owen tournament. But it still feels like they told maybe 10% of the story they could have told with that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And it's just there'll be instances where there's something there that's like, oh, this could be good. Let's see if they follow through. It kind of gets your hopes up a little bit, even though history has dictated that you should not get your hopes up.
No, yeah.
In terms of the booking of AEW's women's division.
Yeah.
But you're like, all right, maybe now is the time they're going to pivot and actually utilize the wealth of talent they have in that division. So you kind of like, all right, let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
And it's inevitably a letdown.
Yeah.
Because there's no attention to the details of the story being told.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, let's motivate a match or a feud for a couple months, and that's it.
There's no story. There's no connected thread through the story. We got like a Hikaru Shida, a Nyla Rose, a sort of qualifier match or number one contender match.
Kind of, yeah. They both want to face the champion, and so
yeah. So you figure sort of de facto, but it sort of came out of nowhere. It's like, I know Shida has had issues with the Outcasts. She's been sort of there, and then all of a sudden not there, and they bring this up, but it's sort of out of nowhere because like, oh, whoa, we got Toni Storm, our champion. We need something for All In for her, so let's go ahead and and pump this because she was a big name. I know she's not British. She was a big name in that in that scene, and so that would be sort of a home territory kind of thing for her, anyways. Dude, there's two other. There are two promotions. One is a sub promotion, and that's NXT. And then Impact. So you and I stopped actively reviewing Impact and NXT to free up time for other things, for a Friendo Club wrestling channel, just to sort of mix things up. So not everything we do is recap. It's called diversification of what you do. However, I do keep up through social media and YouTube on both promotions to a degree. Have you noticed with Impact Wrestling, because we've always praised it for how they give its equity amongst all divisions there, right? Men's, tags, X, knockouts, knockout tag, right?
Yep.
Have you noticed, since we stopped reviewing Impact on the regular till now, how many twists and turns there's been in their women's division, in their tag division, how many different stories they've told just in that short amount of time? If we were to go back to it now, it's completely different because they're always pushing stories. They're always pushing characters, and they're always weaving them in and out of different, characters' orbits. It's awesome. NXT, always, again, seemingly equity amongst their various divisions. And so you've got, like I think they did like a grocery store fight the other day with Roxanne and Blair Davenport. Yeah. But like, that's only one story. They're telling Thea Hale and Tiffany Stratton. And that has a specific story behind it. Dana Brooke.
Cora Jade's had a match or a thing. So yeah.
And so it's like, it can be done. And NXT, guess what? They've got 2 hours a week. Guess how much Impact has? 2 hours a week. They don't have 5 like AEW does.
Yeah.
It's absolute, especially on an episode last night of Dynamite that was basically a Sacramento Dynamite. I mean, that's our term for, it's a bit underwhelming. And there were segments and things that there were some things that I thoroughly enjoyed about Dynamite last night.
Same.
But I'll be honest with you, they could have cut a lot of it and made room for other stories that they want to tell with other divisions.
Well, like the thing about Dynamite last night is that there wasn't really any huge development in the main event scene.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I guess part of that they're pushing to Collision because that's when MJF and Adam Cole are taking on FTR. And FTR basically delivered the same promo on Dynamite that they did last time, especially Cash. It was basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Talking about things that could have been cut. And that's a perfect opportunity to say, all right, we need a major story beat. AR Fox joining Mogul Embassy, aligning with Swerve. I love that. I love that for AR Fox. I thought his match with Orange Cassidy was great. I love the story they told there. I'm talking about on a main event level, and hopefully Mogul Embassy and Swerve will get to that point soon. They should have been there already. Swerve should be in the main event scene as is. Anything. Like the main event segment was a 3-way tag match that led to an Anything Goes match next week.
Yeah.
With Mox, Penta, and Trent.
Yeah.
Like, you have an opportunity to have a huge story beat told somewhere on your show. Why not feature the women's division? So you have something happen during the show that gets people talking.
Yeah, right. Yeah. A couple here chats in our YouTube here. Big MGM says it's hard to think that it's a ratings thing because from most ratings I've seen, Jack Perry isn't exactly bringing in viewers either. Always plenty of time for him. That's a good point because you and I often talk about, how Tony Khan seems to be an analytics guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, if you want to understand the thinking of why somebody's doing something creatively, look to what they're into. I've often talked about, well, look at Triple H's, peak period between like 98 and 2005. And you can see a lot of sort of the things that went on in WWE back then as informing a lot of his booking philosophy. Well, Tony Khan is an analytics guy. And so maybe he's looking at, quarter hours, who draws, who doesn't draw. But it seems to be, a mix of the ratings. And then also for some reason, I really need to validate these pillars. I need to validate
I know
why I sort of called these people pillars. So we're going to push Jack Perry to the moon, which I know it's not exactly like the main event scene, but giving him a big ass chunk of time to drop a half-ass promo, that's kind of a big push right there. That's more than Swerve gets on a weekly basis.
I know. And here's the thing with the Jack Perry thing. Like the promo, fine. It did what it did. The payoff is him having a confrontation with someone who doesn't even wrestle anymore.
Yeah.
And I guess the idea is it'll lead to him taking on some ECW original at All In, All Out or something like that.
And
getting the win there. But even then, like it's not the most captivating segment. And that's no disrespect to Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn's a legend in this industry. Watch some of his stuff in his matches with RVD and ECW. They're fantastic. Groundbreaking stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, great stuff.
But it doesn't feel vital. It doesn't feel like it's capturing the zeitgeist whatsoever.
No. And especially like referencing ECW, which really just did everything they could. Look, they had plenty of faults, but like that was a promotion that everything felt vital.
Yeah.
Or at least they'd have us believe that in the after. If you ever actually watch like individual ECW episodes, some of them
are not good. No.
It's like Doug Furnace versus RVD for 25 minutes.
I know. But like the vibe of ECW is that we're going to keep pushing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
We're going to keep trying to do new things. And in that sense, in terms of the philosophy of the company, it felt vital. So
here's one of the more frustrating things too. Is that Maggie here in YouTube chat says, I just think it's not the type of wrestling he cares about, so he doesn't spend creative energy, but he should hire somebody who can. Here's the thing. He's hired people who I guarantee you would do a killer job with the women's division. He doesn't give them time on his TV shows. He doesn't give him any time. So if Madison Rain or Will Washington or Jimmy Jacobs or whoever he's hired to be part of the creative brain trust, those people could probably write 5 straight weeks of killer creative. Maria, 5 straight weeks of killer creative. Well, you got about 5 minutes a week to fit it in.
To tell some stories. Yeah.
Right. What can I do with that? What can you do with that?
I know.
We need, and in some weeks, we got to make sure to feature Britt Baker, which, hey, if I'm her, I'm taking advantage of every opportunity I can because you want to be stuck backstage.
Nope.
So, yeah. Complaining episode today, but
it is. At the end of the day, I think after 4 years, it's abundantly clear that Tony Khan is just not that interested in telling interesting stories. I mean, it seems like for the most part, the stories that are interesting coming out of AEW are because of the talent involved, probably coming up with interesting ideas.
The
Elite, they have a strong hand in their stories, you would imagine.
Yeah.
And so they're the ones that are probably guiding their stories. You got MJF, Adam Cole stuff right now. I'm guessing they got a strong hand in their stories, but they're probably given the latitude to do that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if everybody else is afforded that same latitude.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of people in AEW that have a wealth of great ideas. Yeah. Are they able to implement them? Are they even able to get those ideas up the ladder to be approved?
Right. Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah. And who knows who they're like. Again, I'm sure a lot of this stuff is fakey faked, but like for All Access, right? Remember when Ty Mello was like appealing to the Young Bucks?
Yeah.
To be like, hey, I got an idea for something to do. I think it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So you gotta appeal to the Young Bucks and then hope that they're gonna send it up to the right people. Hope that they're gonna make the case for you. And yeah, there are some people, you see Adam Cole, I guarantee you Chugs has Tony Khan's ear. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't know how many of the people in the women's division have his direct ear.
You know, it goes back to Swole when she left. Listen to that podcast she did right after.
Yeah.
Where she talked about the lack of structure. And I know AEW has made some hires since then to seemingly address the lack of structure, but it still seems, even after a lot of those hires, and maybe it's going to take time for those for the new hires to, and the new structure to effectively improve communication, across the company. Don't know, but the lack of structure in terms of how creative is developed. Mm-hmm. You know, if based on what we see on screen, that still seems potentially to be an issue.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And here's the thing, dude, also, is that, well, number one, you remember when Saraya debuted, and her big sort of like, it was a speech about that sort of reminded me of what were they called? The McMahon, what were they called? The McMahon shakeup, the McMahon.
Yeah, McMahon shakeup. Yeah.
And she was like, right? Yeah. She's like, now that I'm here, things are going to change, and I'm going to make sure of it.
Yeah.
And then she's just relegated the same way everybody else is relegated. And here's the thing. For any change to happen, you're going to need guys like CM Punk to stand up. You're going to need guys like MJF to stand up.
Like the Elite.
You're going to need the Elite to stand up. You're going to need Mox to stand up and get in his ear. Mm-hmm. Because CM Punk has talked plenty about change.
Yep.
Where is it? Is he standing up? Is he forcing the issue? He was the big draw. He's the big deal. He's the reason why Collision is what it is. Is FTR standing up? Are they saying, hey, we need 2 women's segments. We need a couple women's matches on Collision. Are they standing up and doing that? Mm-hmm. If not, why not? Or are you just happy? Are they just happy with what they have? Are they happy that an entire show is centered around them? Or are they standing up and saying, Willow should probably get a lot of fireworks too? Mm-hmm. Because she won the Owen also.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they doing anything?
Yeah, I know. If you have these stars that you hire, you bring in, especially CM Punk, someone that fancies themselves a locker room leader.
Right.
If they see issues that need to be dealt with that don't involve him personally.
Yeah.
Is he willing to stand up and say, hey, this needs to change. This needs to be better.
Yeah.
You know, there was that talk of that talent meeting, apparently.
Do you want it? How do we make Collision different than Dynamite? How do we put our creative minds together? How about this? You book some more women's division segments. Mm-hmm. You force Tony into it. Mm-hmm. How about that? That's a way to stand out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's across the board. If you have a voice, if you have influence, you got to use it. You have to.
Exactly.
You have to.
Exactly.
I don't like doing this. I don't like. We had to do this a little while ago with a different demographic that they still have issues with. And it's not something that I don't like coming on the show here. Because the comments are going to be like, these guys are biased. WWE is terrible too. No, they're not. They have issues. You know, Triple H hasn't been the best at it, but we got Ronda versus Shayna coming up at SummerSlam. That's been a story.
Becky and Trish. You got Rhea and Raquel, and then you got Asuka, Bianca, and Charlotte.
Yeah,
that's what five stories right there.
Right. Yeah, and you might not like the stories.
That's 6.
You got Io with the Money in the Bank running around. Yep. You got you might not like them. You might not think they're great,
but they're stories. They're stories.
There's something, and they're getting those pay-per-view matches.
Exactly. Can you? What's the story? What's the story at AEW's women's division right now? Brit just wanted to be champion again.
I guess she wanted to be TBS champion because she was talking about how TBS is true. Like her. Yeah. It's the Brit show.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess. That's like the thing is I don't know. I cannot identify it.
No. Oh, for Alicia's here, it says Valhalla and Maxine. That's another story in WWE's women's division.
Oh my God, that's right. Yeah, like they're
like 7 or 8.
They're even booking that like far down the card.
Yeah. So no, it's the AEW.
Chelsea and Sonya winning the tag titles.
Yeah.
They're running around too.
So yeah, if you're coming in our comments saying, "Oh, WWE's just as bad as AEW,"
No, it's factually it's not. It's a false equivalence. It's not as bad. And here's the thing, they're not even great. That's how bad AEWs is. So yeah, dude, I don't know. It's if you want us to be the show that's positive about everything, all we can say is we try to be honest about everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna praise shit. There was stuff to like. Good for AR Fox. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
And if they can turn, we can pivot now into Dynamite.
Sure.
I think it's awesome building the ranks of the Mogul Embassy. Mm-hmm. They already have some really good wrestlers. Have you noticed Swerve is?
Yeah, he posts workout videos on Twitter.
He does, yeah. Man, he looks,
he's
muscle, like WWE sized.
Yeah.
No, he's looking phenomenal. Dude, I will never stop being thoroughly impressed with that dude in the ring.
Oh,
that shit where he did the thing where he looked like a slinky coming down stairs. Going out of the ring onto the apron, onto the floor.
It's amazing.
What is it? It's like it defies physics, that dude.
It really does. I know.
Him and Darby had a killer match.
It was fantastic. It really should have been the main event.
It should. Oh, I know. Yeah.
It really should have been the main event. Like the way he strings moves together, Swerve.
Oh, yeah.
Seamlessly. Yeah. Flawlessly. And so smooth.
Yeah.
It's damn impressive. The AR Fox stuff, I actually liked all that last night. I liked a lot of it, and I think it was great. I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So seemingly Brian Cage and Big Bill are still going to be a tag team post blind eliminator tournament because they had that promo bit last night.
Yeah,
because they're in the tag battle royal on Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
Is Big Bill going to join Mogul Embassy?
Talk about a guy who could use, like in the same mold as AR Fox, a guy who could use something to jumpstart a character. Because you and I are both Big Bill fans, man. The way that dude turned his life around.
Yeah.
And just got fit.
Yeah.
Like fit. And then they bring him into AEW, and they sort of don't use him a whole lot.
Like his comeback wasn't just that he got really good shape. Like his character work and Impact was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like when he was a heel, he was.
It was
like
really
he was
good.
Scary, but then when he turned face, you're like, oh man, I'm all in on this guy.
Yeah, right.
You were behind him, and he came to AEW, and they haven't really done much with him. Getting back to AR Fox, I liked his match with Orange Cassidy. I thought it was the story beats in that match made sense, which eventually led to AR Fox expressing his frustration afterwards because Orange Cassidy was taking him lightly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Yeah,
Orange was really doing the antics about hands in pockets and all that stuff. He was like, "Oh, AR Fox, no threat to me."
Mm-hmm.
The hubris at this point of Orange Cassidy because he's defended the title like 25 times or something like that. So he seemingly got past the adversity stage. Now he feels unbeatable. We get the hubris from Orange Cassidy. Anyways, AR Fox, he lost with a roll-up. Not happy about it. Not happy about being taken lightly by Orange Cassidy. Decks him after the match. Mm-hmm. And Darby comes out, "Oh, you're embarrassing me.
It's embarrassing.
I got you this match. And
Who's my name on the line?"
Yeah. So when AR Fox costs Darby his match against Swerve, joins Mogul Embassy, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. From a storytelling perspective, everything there happens in order and it makes absolute sense. And AR Fox is a phenomenal wrestler.
Oh, he is. He's one of the most fun dudes to watch in the ring.
He really is.
And that's saying a lot because AEW's got a lot of really good wrestlers.
And you see the influence of AR Fox in AEW and WWE too, because he's one of the guys that trained Austin Theory.
Yeah, he trained some names there. Yeah.
And he's a great addition to Mogul Embassy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I say this week after week. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for it to really happen. Swerve, Mogul Embassy, they're on TV basically every week.
They're on there a lot, yeah.
Maybe now that Swerve got this win over Darby, maybe this is what's going to... I thought maybe, Swerve will get the international title. Well, now it seems like Orange is going to get this feud with Moxley.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And then, maybe the TNT title. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep waiting for things.
I don't want him to have that TNT title. He'll have it for a month and then it'll be gone.
Yeah,
that's how that title is
dropped.
booked.
Somebody else. But it just seems like there's a start and stop with Swerve specifically, where it seems like he'll get a push and win a bunch of matches and he'll suffer a loss. You're like, all right, well, so much for the push, and then it happens again. But now after vanquishing Darby, hopefully it's going to lead to something. That's going to be a good push for Swerve. Mogul Embassy, they'll increase their ranks, have Big Bill be official member. I think that'd be awesome. You got You got Big Bill. You got Cage. You got Gates of Agony.
Yeah.
And AR Fox with Swerve and Prince Nana. That's a really good faction.
A couple, honestly, dude. Like I agree. I'd love to see a push where, you know, but it all boils down to what you and I say. What I really want is just to see, number one, Swerve is the kind of guy I feel who will hand the microphone over to AR Fox and let him build that character, because he understands if AR Fox is built into a character that we all, you know, care about, bad guy, good guy, whatever. And I know with him, he's going to be a bad guy, but it's going to be the kind of thing where it makes everybody in that faction a bit more undeniable. You know what I mean? Like it'll be like, oh, that's one more guy that we now get to see. It's kind of like, honestly, it's kind of like Garcia. I know Garcia's a lot younger, but it's kind of like Garcia joining JAS. It's like, okay, well, we don't really got a good grasp on who this kid is. Let's see what they can do as a character. And, you know, and Jericho, seemingly with all of his guys that he puts in there, he allows them to be built up into characters. He pushes for that. And look how it's helped Garcia. Same can be said kind of for Sammy, you know.
And you can, you know, whether you're enjoying the story of JAS falling apart, developing every character or most of the characters in a faction, when there's beef within the faction, it improves the story being told because you have well-defined characters at that point.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So hopefully,
But, you know, the bottom line is, if Swerve week to week and the Mogul Embassy are involved in interesting stories,
that's the thing,
that feel like they are vital to the programming of AEW, you know, look, I'll be honest with you, man, none of them titles are really booked terribly well. You know what I mean? So if Swerve gets a title, that ain't validation to me these days, because anybody can get a TNT. And I like, don't get me wrong, I like what Christian and Luchasaurus are doing with the title right now. I think it's really entertaining. But, like, that title's going to come off him, and it's going to come off the next guy, like, really quick. That's the hot potato title. International title ain't leaving Orange Cassidy anytime soon. And I'll be honest with you, like, it's getting a bit stale for my taste at this point. They were telling a really cool story with him with, like, oh, man, he's getting beat up with all these title defenses. They've sort of moved through that a little bit.
Yeah, because, I mean, it was almost kind of comical to the degree with which he was coming to the ring with all the kinesiology tape, like that shit on his shoulder, his back, his neck. And it's even mentioned on commentary last night. It's like, well, you can't see that his knees are all bandaged up too.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost comical. Like, you see one person come out with some of that tape on their shoulder. Whoever their opponent is just wrecks the shoulder until they can't use it.
Yeah, right.
And Orange Cassidy, you know, he even like had his hand broken or something like that, so he couldn't deliver the orange punch effectively. His finisher.
Right. Yeah.
And you think at some point one of those injuries would be his undoing, and it hasn't happened yet.
Right. And it's like, you got to wonder, I understand that, like, Orange Cassidy is probably good for that title, you know, because Orange Cassidy is like a draw and everybody loves him and everything. I love Orange Cassidy. I think he's great. But sometimes you got to get the chase in, you know. You got to suffer a little bit, and it's okay if he drops the title. It's fine. And I thought Swerve would have been the perfect guy to do it, because he's so, Orange has, you know, the embassy's got so many heavy hitters on it in terms of, like, power guys, that, like, it kind of made sense for him to ruthlessly take advantage of Orange Cassidy and all of his injuries and everything. But then they didn't do it, and it's like, man, you really gotta pull the trigger on that sometimes. You know, you gotta get the chase back on. But yeah, no. So I don't know. I really hope, and I'll be honest with you, I am optimistic because of how often Swerve has been on TV. And yeah, I know he lost to Tanahashi. I know he lost to Darby that one time, and I know he got the win this time. But it does seem like Tony Khan sees something in Swerve, which he should. And so I do hope that means he's going to be factored into. It'll probably end up being a big loss at All In, but it might be against a name opponent. And, you know, something you got to go through the name opponents to start getting some wins over name opponents. I just hope it doesn't, you know, it ends with him getting the bigger spotlight, because how do you not see it in him?
I know.
How do you not see it in Swerve? The guy is just nothing but money. He really is.
Yep.
Also on Dynamite last night, MJF and Adam Cole had some backstage stuff, and we'll get into the meat of it. MJF doing FTR Bald's accent really absolutely killed me. I was dying laughing. Somebody
I saw that, yeah.
Somebody
Dax's
put
interview
together on Twitter Dax's interview, and as soon as he was about to mention his wife, it cuts to MJF doing his impression. My wife and my kids.
Yeah.
But anyways, the big sort of item that came out of it was Adam Cole spilling his guts to MJF saying, hey, man, you're one of my best friends now. And MJF saying, I know how much this means to you. So win, lose, or draw on the 29th, you're going to get a title shot. You're going to get a rematch for the title. Yeah. And I mean, did that piece add anything for you to say, oh, this is where the story should go, would be more interesting? Winning the titles, not winning the titles, that extra piece, did it add anything to what you think about the story?
You know, in so many of MJF's feuds, he's tried to use his friendship as a means to manipulate people. We just saw it with Sammy, lead up to the 4 pillars.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this last night while I was brushing my teeth.
Oh, great.
What if Adam Cole, wise to that, of course, if you watch AEW television, you're wise to it, you know, that happens. And so he gets into the situation, not initially wanting to be in this tag team with MJF, but seeing it as an opportunity to do to MJF what MJF has done numerous times to other people. I'm going to befriend him or make MJF think I'm going to befriend him to get what I want from him, which is a title opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, does that really kind of align with babyface Adam Cole? Debatable.
Might align with a heel Adam Cole if you want to turn MJF face.
Yes. And once now that Adam Cole has what he wants from MJF, all right. As soon as we lose to FTR, I'm gonna blast him.
Yeah.
Hit him with the boom.
Yeah.
And let him know the belt was all I was after from the very beginning.
You know, dude, a double turn would be kind of awesome. You know, like MJF understanding how endearing himself to the fan base, like doing the suicide dive and the adrenaline you get off the crowd actually loving you and buying into the video game. He called Roderick Strong a default call last night.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Buying into being a good guy. And Adam Cole understanding, man, I really love being a bad guy is so much more fun. Like, it's just who I am as a wrestling character. We know Chugs is like the best guy there is. But as a wrestling character, the Adam Cole character being like, man, this isn't me. I'm wrestling again, and I just love being a piece of shit. And I want that title so bad. That's a double turn they could pull off.
Yeah.
They could totally pull that one off.
What will probably happen is that MJF will try to swerve Adam Cole. Adam Cole's like, I knew this was coming, and so I was ready for it. I got what I wanted from you, so you're going to be denied your swerve on me, and then I'm gonna swerve you, and that way Adam Cole still comes out of it looking like a babyface, MJF still looking like a heel.
That could be. I hope they go the more interesting route, because I really think like a double turn would be the way.
I hope they
go.
win the tag titles to get them off of FTR.
Because, dude, the thing is, like, with
There's
these
more story
two,
to be told here.
Oh, I agree. With these two guys, Cole could go back to being a babyface like that. Same with MJF. You can go back to being a heel just like that. They are that malleable. Like, they can pull that shit off. So tell the more interesting story is what I would say anyways.
Exactly. You know, because if Cole's goal was just to get a title opportunity and then he's done with MJF, well, now they're tag champions. You can't do that.
Yeah, right, yeah.
You know, so he still has to bide his time until they lose the tag titles to get what he actually wants, essentially.
Yeah.
That's more. I mean, that seems like a more interesting story than just having a breakup on Saturday, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I agree. Before we dive into the bits and pieces of Dynamite from last night, now that we're 40 minutes deep into the show,
I know.
Real quick, want to point this out. We've got a Patreon at patreon.com/Steven Larson. I've got a special guest here to talk about the Patreon Larson.
Who?
He's actually here. I
find that doubtful. Would you
okay,
invite
so
Hilton
hold
over?
on a second. He did ask that I do this real quick, though. Hold on 1 second.
Did you find a Hilton impersonator?
Just bear with me here for a second, okay?
Oh, I know what you're doing.
Turn this one off. Hold on a second. Just bear with me a second, okay?
I know what you're doing. I know what this is. You can't trick me. You're going to put that Uncle Howdy mask on, aren't you?
Hold on. He's right here.
Yes, you are putting the Uncle Howdy mask on.
Oh, man. Oh, man, did you know that we got a Patreon, man? That's right, you go to patreon.com/Stephen Larson, man. Oh, it makes me so horny to think about Patreon, I tell you
Even
what.
Uncle Howdy, huh?
Oh, man, you got that right. Listen up, this is what you get over there, man. You get bonus episodes, that's right. You get bonus episodes. You also get access to the predictions challenge, man, which I understand Larson's doing pretty good in the predictions challenge, man. That's right. We got question threads. You got a question? You got a question for Larson? You're like, Larson, what do you do with your beard to make it look so good, man? You look so pretty with the beard, man. Oh, that's right. Makes me so horny. On the Patreon, we also got, listen up, man, you like merchandise? We also got purple merchandise right now, friendoshop.com, man. Oh, it's beautiful merchandise. It's so purple. It's my favorite color in the whole world, man. It makes me so horny. That's right. Oh, man.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Uncle Howdy, for that promo. I don't know why is he so horny though? That's what I'm curious about.
I got to start appreciation that you're not even going through any sort of subterfuge to trick people to thinking it's not you. And then you come back acting like we actually had a legit guest on.
It's a different guy. He's walking. Okay, thanks, Howdy. Take it easy. No, he's good. He's good. That was good. Yeah. So we got a Patreon. Hey, you're doing pretty good in the All Predictions Challenge. I'm not happy about
comeback. Well,
I don't like
I don't
that.
care.
I don't like.
I'm
Yeah, I don't like that.
Your feelings don't care about it in this regard. In terms of how I'm doing the G1, I want to do well.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm bummed out that you're not closer to the top, though, because I think it's more fun when we're both neck and neck towards the top of the rankings. So in that respect, I'm going to contradict myself. I do care.
I don't like that. I don't like that you're. That's the most condescending thing I've ever heard in my life.
How is it condescending? That's
I'm sad you're not doing better. That's a horrible thing to say to a person.
All right. Well, I'm disappointed you're not doing better. Is that better?
That mask, it's so hot in that mask. Everybody's like, oh, look.
It really is.
Prime Joy Beard saying, sweaty forehead, Steve. Do you really need to point it out? Yeah, I just wore a mask for your entertainment. Steve's so sweaty. Yeah, I know I'm sweaty. I sweat a lot. So what?
You're like that episode of Raw where the air conditioner wasn't working right now, right?
Hey, can we please do a retro review on that episode of Raw?
And we should turn the air conditioner off in our house too.
Oh, that would be good. Get some like dress shirts on and just sweat through them. Oh man. Anyways, so yeah, Patreon.com. No, we got the G1 predictions challenge, man. I love these predictions challenge. I love whoever came up with the idea of opening them up to the entire Friendos. What a genius that person is. And
that was you, I think.
It was me. And you know, we've got Flannelly Dan as our Money in the Bank champion. Mm-hmm. SummerSlam's coming up, so maybe Flannelly Dan's going to make his play then. Possibly. We got a predictions challenge for that. A lot of good stuff coming up with the predictions challenges. Again, patreon.com/Stephen Larson or click join to become a YouTube channel member. You also get access to all that stuff there. We had a couple super chats here. Dream Match Championship Wrestling says, love the channel, guys. Thank you very much. Also,
thank you so much.
Spencer Trainer with a super chat says, it really seemed like the only excuse they have for women's matches is tournaments. Do you think Jamie Hayter coming back will help? I don't, because I just think that he's going to relegate the women's division to a small amount of time, and that's all that matters.
On Dynamite, they get anywhere between 8-12 minutes starting around 6:25.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We got a new member here, Benoit Richer. Mm-hmm. Benoit Richer, I believe it is. Thank you so much for the membership here on YouTube.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I mean, right now we got 45 minutes, Steve. We could be done.
We talked about Dynamite a lot, but we should probably actually.
I know. We'll do a breakdown. I'm being sarcastic. I'm being sarcastic. I was sarcastic about not caring about you being upset. I was doing good too. So.
Let's go. Oh, I
care about your feelings, Steve.
No, I want you to do worse in the predictions. See, the thing is, I give you selective credit. Like at trivia, you are so overwhelmingly good at trivia. And it's so awesome to see. It is impressive to see. I'm a slow ski when it comes to trivia, but I know talent when I see it.
Short. You know what you're really good at? That I've learned the last 5 weeks been doing it.
Yeah.
Whenever you have a question about how to spell a celebrity's name, you always know it.
Yeah, I am oddly good. I don't know why.
You always know it.
Yeah, when I see the word Kiefer Sutherland, I know the I comes before the E.
You know the correct way to spell it.
When I think of Angela Lansbury, I'm like, there's no D there.
It's not Lansbury.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I'm good at that. I think I'm also pretty good at presidential trivia as well.
Yeah. Well,
I'm bummed out about the Garfield one. I'm really bummed.
That was
out
tough.
I missed that one. That was a tough one. Yeah.
That was tough.
Yeah. Anyways,
that was tough.
We kicked off. I like this. They kicked it off with the Darby Allin AR Fox video package because it's like, oh, he's such a good guy. He took me in when I was, I was homeless. I didn't have a place to stay, and he took me in.
Yep.
And so it really hyped up AR Fox as like a good guy. So you have this match. Orange Cassidy gets the win, as you said, sort of taking him lightly, but eventually he gets the win. And he locks on a mousetrap. And then afterwards, Cassidy does the thing where he offers up his hand, a handshake, puts on the sunglasses. What's that?
Hubris. That's kind of condescending, and it's like it's got hubris.
So I like that you mentioned that because like after the match, it's like, oh, you're cool with losing, right? Here, put on my sunglasses and do my gimmick so everybody knows that we're good. But I won.
Yeah.
And so AR Fox takes like a step back when he's got the sunglasses on, and he takes them off, and he does this with them. He crumples them up, and the whole crowd. You see the crowd going like, "Oh no!" And then he lays out Orange Cassidy, and then Darby runs out, and AR Fox is left, and he's like, "What are you doing, man? This is embarrassing. I put my name on the line for this match, man."
Because after AR Fox left the ring, he's like, I shouldn't have done that.
He's like, no, that was a good idea. Yeah. So then Mox runs to the ring, takes out Orange Cassidy, drops him with a Death Rider. We find out his motivation for that here in a little bit.
Yep. Then we got a Blood and Guts recap after that, and then we got a Chris Jericho Don Callis interview. So Don continues trying to recruit Jericho to his faction. He says the outpouring of interest from fans, the media about the potential of the GOAT joining the Callis family has led me to believe that we got to give the people something. No pressure. But I have taken the liberty of arranging a situation where you could be in a tag match with your partner, Takeshita, the guy you said that was going to be the future of wrestling. Imagine the dream team, Jericho, Takeshita, the family, maybe together for one match. Doesn't that kind of get the creative juices going? And Jericho says, Takeshita is amazing, so yeah, I'm willing to give it a try. And Callis then says, best part, your opponents are Danny Garcia and Sammy Guevara. And then Jericho's like, what? Danny and Sammy? Callis says, you said you wanted them to spread their wings. You wanted them to fly on their own. This is perfect, really, when you think about it. I think it would be great. And Jericho's like, yeah, I'll do it. Fine, I'll do it. And Callis says, to commemorate this next step and join the Callis family, I commissioned this work of art to commemorate our 1995 promo that was shared on Dynamite with Bad News Allen. And he holds up this portrait. And it looks like it might have been AI.
It was not.
It wasn't? Okay, good.
No, the only reason I know that I happened to stumble across the artist of that on Twitter,
Good.
Who had said when Callis needs the best, they reach out to me, and so I'm almost positive that it was not AI.
Good. This is this portrait, and it's got Bad News Allen, large, looming large over super muscular Don Callis and Chris Jericho, looking like they did in 1995, all ripped and stuff. And he says, this is you and I, Chris, together like a couple of gods at play, just like we were in the 90s. Look at that. Bad news. You know what he wants us to do. He wants us together. And Jericho's like, this is amazing, but it's huge. I don't be able to carry this around all day. And Cal says, I'll take care of it. I know the perfect place. Do your thing.
So somebody, Mel Coleman at Mel Coleman Art.
I assume
is the name of
Mel
the
Coleman
artist.
is the same artist who did the Kenny and Don Callis portrait.
I believe so. She also did the Don Callis Takeshita one.
Cool.
So yeah. No, but
that's great.
Awesome.
I wasn't trying to slam it and saying it was AI. I thought it looked really cool, but
it would be really funny. I mean, storyline wise, it would be really funny if Callis busted out some AI art.
AI painting, I know.
It'd also be like a really inside dig because like AI art is so like fucking terrible. I know. But yeah, no. But hats off to Mel Coleman because
it was really cool. It was really cool.
Yeah. So, anyways, after all that, we had a Hook video package, followed by a Claudio Yuta and Mox promo. And Claudio says, here's a public announcement for all the kids at home. Do not play with fire. And here's a PSA for all the kids around here. Don't mess with us. Pac, if you think that after what you pulled at Blood and Guts, the beating you got at Death Before Dishonor at my hands is anything but the beginning, you're sorely mistaken. You couldn't even get it done like a man. And then Mox steps in and he says, that's right. That right there is what happens trying to flex on my friends when I'm not even in the building. If anyone else out there thinks they're the coolest cat in the room, here's a warning. Stay in your lane. Lucha Brothers' best friends are playing with explosives. You're going to pay for that mistake. And you're going to get hurt. So is his beef with Orange Cassidy that Orange Cassidy is acting like a cool guy?
I thought they mentioned, I didn't note it here, but I thought someone mentioned that Orange, or maybe it was commentary, that Orange hit Claudio with an orange punch at some point.
Oh, is that what it was?
Thought so.
Or is Mox just like, hey, I'm cooler than you are, which would be a great start of a feud.
It's something.
I think I'm sarcastic about that.
Next, we got a Jack Perry interview. He comes to the ring. He's got an I Beat Hook shirt on. And he's asked about the match, about cheating to win. And he says, you're damn right I beat Hook. And after one loss, this guy realized he couldn't hang with the big boys. And he went home and got himself on a train to nowhere. Because that Hook video package was pretty cool. He's like at a subway station or something with the FTW title. He puts it down, a train goes by, and the title's gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Jungle Boy, sorry, Jack continues. You know what? When I said I was going to win myself a championship, I sure as hell wasn't talking about this one. This championship was created in a second-class company full of scumbags like all of you. This title has never been recognized, but as soon as I put my hands on it, it became the real deal because I'm the real deal. I'm the greatest wrestler to get within 100 feet of this thing. Matter of fact, I would have run circles around you, he says this to Taz, around you and all your dirtbag friends back in the day as well. And they'd rather have Taz come to the ring to confront Jack Perry.
Yeah.
Jerry Lynn.
Yeah.
Makes his way out. He goes, Jungle, that's enough. And Perry says, you might want to check your pager, old man, because Jungle isn't here anymore. I'm Jack Perry. And Jerry Lynn says, I don't care what you call yourself, but let me remind you, at ECW, we paved the way for this younger generation. Without ECW, there never would have been a Jungle Boy. So go ahead, keep running your mouth. You will get your ass kicked. And Perry says, me? I'm going to get my ass kicked? I'd like to see who's going to try to kick my ass. And then Jerry Lynn drops the mic. The implication being he's going to be the one. And Jungle Boy, who's wearing a T-shirt and like basketball shorts, says, I'm obviously not dressed for a fight. We're going to do this on my time. How about next week come out here to my ring and we'll see who gets their ass kicked.
So people have confirmed that we have not watched Death Before Dishonor because Orange Cassidy hit Claudio apparently at Death Before Dishonor. All right, apparently there was some best friends stuff going on during the match.
Gotcha.
So that would be the reason, not that Mox thinks Orange Cassidy's trying to be cooler than him, which I still think would be a great idea.
I mean, that could be a wrinkle.
I might do that in my E-Fed, you know. So also another thing I was going to bring up. Yeah, it was kind of weird that Taz wasn't the guy. I'd love to see Taz on the mic against cutting wrestling promo. I love Taz. I think he's so great.
Taz is great.
But here's the thing, though. When Jerry Lynn, and I'm being tongue-in-cheek here, so nobody give me shit about the comments. When he says, Jungle Boy, if it wasn't for ECW, you wouldn't exist. I kind of feel like Jungle Boy could have been like, au contraire, if it wasn't for the new generation in the WWF. Because like Jungle Boy, doesn't he feel like more of a like new generation WWF thing than an ECW thing? Where do you think in the eras of past pro wrestling, Jungle Boy, that character?
No, I think Jungle Boy fits, new generation where you got someone who's pushed that maybe doesn't have the most charisma. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And I guess, I don't know if Tarzan is a vocational gimmick, but it's kind of, there. I feel like it's kind of there.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good analogy.
Oh, wow. Wait, Devontae here. Can somebody back this up? Devontae says Fightful reporting is going to be Ospreay versus Jericho at All In.
Oh, is this the new Fightful thing?
That's kind of
interesting. Saw this email. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I guess Jericho's not joining the Callis family then, huh?
Is Ospreay part of the Callis family?
Well, not like directly.
I mean, Callis was like, you can have my security guards.
Yeah,
he was trying to help him. Yeah,
they're friendly.
Well, you know what? If it's Jericho, there's going to be a cool story, or there's going to be a story behind it. You didn't mention this. You mentioned this earlier. We'll talk about it when we get there. So after that, Britt Baker said, "Thanks for reminding the people." This is an interview. She says, former AEW's champ, face of the women's division, baddest B on the block. She says, Taya, I'd be lying if I wasn't a little surprised that you called me out, but thank you. I'm excited for this first time ever matchup against an opponent I truly do respect and admire. But if you want to swim with the sharks, brother, I'm going to drag your ass to the deep end, and I can't think of a better opponent to beat. To remind everybody that TBS is the Brit Show.
Yeah.
I don't know why I used that little jingle there at the end. She didn't do that.
It's a fun melody, though.
The Brit Show. Sorry.
That's the Love Boat. The Love Boat.
Dun-dun-dun. Exciting and new.
Soon we'll be making another run. Anyways, Pac against the wrestler that forgot him.
See, if that was trivia, it was like finish this lyric to the Love Boat theme, you would know it. I wouldn't know that. I just stop at exciting and new.
Come aboard, we're expecting you.
Okay, that I did know, but that other part,
I didn't know. Yeah, I believe it soon will be making another run. I could be wrong about that. That's what it sounds like. Yeah. Pac versus Gravity. This is clever and all because as Neville was the man the Gravity forgot. But then as soon as they get in the ring, Pac's like, "Oh, you remember me? Why'd you forget about me?" Yeah, that was pretty damn funny. I'll be honest with you. Pac doing a comedy bit is actually pretty damn funny. More or less, I know. This is a pretty short match. Pac gets the win here. Avalanche, Brainbuster, locks on a Brutalizer. Gravity taps, but then Pac's slow to let go of the Brutalizer. In fact, the ref has to break his grip just to get him to break the hold. And then we had Adam Cole and MJF interview. It was from last week.
That Gravity, he's a lot of fun.
He's
totally oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, he's a commentary.
He's got to be like a candidate for fun wrestling if you ever bring that back.
Oh, yeah.
Like a Beal Armstrong type guy because he comes out acting like he's on the moon.
Oh, it's great. No, he's like kind of walks in slow motion.
Yeah, right, because it's low gravity.
Low gravity, I know. Pretty great. Super clever. Adam Cole, MJF interview. Renee asked them how they feel about winning the tournament. And Adam Cole's about to answer that, and MJF grabs the mic from him and says, "I'll take it from here. FTR, I liked you a whole lot better when you were my lactic, to be honest. That was the pinnacle of your career. Cash, rocking a mullet in 2023, very brave. Talking business in the front, party in the back. My friend, every time you make contact with a woman, all they want to do is yak." Oof. He moves on to Dax, says, "I'm so sick of your Mr. Clean Yosemite Sam looking ass standing in front of the camera with this microphone saying the same stuff over and over again." He starts doing a Dax impression.
Oh, that shit was hilarious. "I love my wife. I love my baby daughter. I love this business. No flips, just fierce."
Then Jeff says, "Yeah. Well, here's what's going to happen, Dax. I'm going to take my fist. I'm going to punch you so hard in the face, you have no choice but to spit out CM Punk's jockstrap. Because we are winning those AEW tag titles because there are only 3 initials in the sport that matter. It ain't FTR, it's MJF because we're better than you. The jockstrap bit, baby. The jockstrap bit. The whole crowd went, "Ooh!" Yeah, no. That was awesome. So Cole finishes up. He says, "Baby." And actually, Max, I want to talk to you a little bit. He says, when this whole thing started, it was about winning gold, becoming a champion here in AEW. And if I'm going to be completely honest, it's become about friendship for me. Never in a million years did I think that we would be friends, that I would enjoy this so much. But I have, and I want to make this very clear because otherwise I won't sleep tonight. You have nothing to worry about when it comes to AEW title. Last week, I was just giving it to you. You giving me your friendship means the world to me because you're not just my friend, not just my close friend. You're becoming one of my best friends. And I really mean that. And that's when MJF says, win, lose, or draw after the 29th, I'm going to give you a rematch for the title because I know how much it means to you. And then neck brace Roddy comes running in. He just shoves MJF. And then they start arguing. MJF calls him a default call, which was hilarious. Him getting on board with the video game lingo kind of on the down low. You have to notice it. I love those details. I love when wrestlers bring that shit. Yep.
So Cole tries to make the peace. He says, "Hey, MJF, please just give me and Roddy a second." So MJF leaves, and Cole's like, "Dude, I love you like a brother. I'll do anything for you. But you're acting insane. You're being possessive, and you're pushing me away. I have other friends, and you need to trust me if you want to be my friend, okay? I'm going to go talk to Max." So he leaves, and then he turns to leave, and then Roddy grabs him by the wrist, and he rips his hand away and says, "Hey, boundaries." And then Roddy just sort of mumbles, "You're making a big mistake." I love that AEW always has a constant thread of friends who just can't get the hint.
I know.
It's the Dark Order. This week it was both Roddy and, I'm sorry, the JAS. they need to fuck off and leave Chris Jericho alone.
Yeah. Yep.
We could talk about that in a second, though.
Yep. First, though, we got FTR more or less doing the same promo they did last time. And since that one was long, I'm not going to go through all the exact details here. Here, Cash again says, MJF, you're a terrible person. I know because I was in Pinnacle with you. Adam, I like you. Sorry you have to go through this, but you got to learn not to mess with FTR.
And then Dax, man. Yeah, it's lucky that because I think, did they do this like last? Because the blood and guts was in the background. I think they just did this.
Yeah,
last week.
They said last week. Yeah, both.
Oh, it did. Okay, I didn't notice that
and,
part.
And MJF one and this one are from last week.
Okay, so anyways, he's like, Adam, I like you too, but you got to win over Dax Harwood. That doesn't sit well with me. It ain't gonna be 2-0 Adam Cole. I could scream and yell about you, Max, but I'm not going to because this is real life to me. I'm sure you made fun of my accent, and I'm sure it was funny. Oh, it was actually.
It was.
He's
funny.
I watched your match last week, and I saw your little dance routine, and that was funny, too. But what isn't funny is making a mockery out of tag team wrestling. But Saturday night, there ain't going to be no dance routine. You're not going to make a mockery of pro wrestling. We're going to have a fight. And if I said this to you right now, Adam, you're dragged into this, but if I said this to you, I'm going to beat your ass. That's an understatement, Max. I'm going to beat the shit out of you, Max. I shouldn't have said that. My little girl's watching at home, and I dare you, Max. If you said something about my wife and my daughter, I'll rip your eyeballs out. This is for AEW tag titles. Yes, this is how I feed my family. I love this business, Max. We're going to beat you July 29th. This is what we got to do. Sorry, Adam. Top guy's out.
Dax is incredibly consistent, I guess.
He's kind of becoming a parody of an 80s wrestler at this point.
I know. He's almost becoming a parody of Dax Harwood at this point.
Isn't he like 35 or something?
Yeah, he's younger than we are.
He's like a decade younger than we are, too.
I know.
Oh man!
Oh my goodness!
He is consistent. He's 30. Oh, he's 39. So he's on
the verge of 40. All right,
5 years younger than me.
One more year, it's okay for him to be this grumpy.
Yeah.
But you gotta wait till you turn 40, Dax. Then we had a phenomenal bout between Swerve and Darby Allin. Really should have been the main event match of the night. So many awesome spots. That house call that Swerve did off the ring steps.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
The Death Valley driver off the second rope to the apron. What the hell?
What? Yeah. What the hell is right? This is like, dude. This is like when I first started watching New Japan, and I was like, oh, so is there some sort of trick as to why they could do all this crazy shit? And it's like, no, they just get fucked up. And it's like, Darby, you can't do this very much longer, man. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're a human being.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was
pretty crazy.
Bout.
Oh, so it was awesome. Yeah.
Down towards the finish, after that DVD spot, Darby, is on the floor. So Swerve gets back in the ring. Darby just barely beats the 10 count, but when he does, Prince Nana gets on the apron to distract the ref, and then somebody, AR Fox, you can tell by his pants, but he had a hoodie on, runs out and rams Darby into the ring post and puts him back in the ring. Swerve hits Darby with the JML driver to get the win. Afterwards, AR Fox gets in the ring, takes the hoodie off, and he starts stomping away at Darby. So Nick Wayne gets in there because he walked with Darby down the ring, tries to make the save. AR Fox wrecks him with Darby's skateboard, and then Prince Nana presents AR Fox with a Mogul Embassy t-shirt, and he holds it up, and then he puts it on. So I like that they went with the time-honored tradition of, you join a faction, you put the t-shirt on.
You get the t-shirt. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, absolutely. I love that as well. What are the Undisputed Era had like the armband, which I'm not really a fan of the armband. Are there other ways to signify somebody's in a faction?
I mean, there's the hand gesture, like the Too Sweet.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's the Too Sweet.
Or like with the Bang Bang Gang, they do the gun fingers.
They do the thing.
So there's that.
We got a couple.
What is this?
Well, they do it, but they're like this, They bump it like that.
Yeah.
But this is different. I don't know.
It is different.
This seems like it's probably offensive.
It's like you're trying to super glue two guns together, Steve.
That'd be sick. I don't know if it'd work. You'd have to do
it wouldn't be terribly effective.
No, it would not.
You have to get something where you could do this.
And you couldn't reload the clip.
No, you couldn't.
We got a couple new channel members, Turnpike here, and Italki Teacher, the Ashen Knight. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
for
much.
For your memberships. We really appreciate it. Somebody earlier asked. Somebody asked where the predictions challenge can be found. When the new one happens,
next one,
we post the link and we let everybody know. We put it on the community tab. We put it on the Patreon if that's where your Friendo Club membership is at.
Yes.
Let's see here. So after that, we had this should have been the main event. It was great. The Jericho Appreciation Society. They're backstage, and Jericho's like, "What do you want?" But he's very diplomatic with them. He's very, he's like, "Hey, what's up? What are your concerns?" And Menard's like,
Ty, how the baby's doing?
Yeah. And Menard's like, "Hey, we need to talk." And then Menard's like, "Hey, that's a nice painting right there, you and Callis." And Chris is like, "Yeah, very nice painting." He says, "Look, it's a gift from Dom, but who cares about the painting? How's everything going? How's the baby?" And Ty's like, "The baby's doing great, but the real question is, what's going on with you, Chris?" And Parker pops open his switchblade comb. He says, "You gave me this." And he acts like he's giving it back to him. He's like, "But I'm not giving it back yet. This means the world to me. This crew, this family means the world to all of us. And I think it means the same to you. But I'm not entirely sure anymore." And Anna Jay steps up to Jericho and says, "You know what? If you won't say it, I will. You're being selfish." And he's like, "I'm being selfish?" She's like, "Yeah. We spend all this time appreciating you. I don't think you appreciate us." I mean, when you think of it, it's not the Jericho Appreciation Society. It's the Jericho Appreciation Society. That's what you're supposed to do. He says, "So until you do so, like Jake said, we can't give you 100%. She walks out, followed by Parker and Ty. And then Jericho says to Menard, "You think this is easy for me?" And he's like, "Yeah, it looks pretty easy. Figure it out fast." So they need to go and fuck off because, you can bring him so far, but at a certain point, it's like, go do your thing. Okay, go do your thing. I'm going to do my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they should just appreciate what he's given them.
I know. Next, we got Britt Baker versus Taya Valkyrie, and I believe this match started probably at exactly 6:23 to 6:25 p.m.
Sounds right.
Yep. I know there was one spot that was a little funky, but after that, I thought the match came together pretty good.
Yeah.
Britt hits a Panama Sunrise. Taya kicks out of that. Britt's looking for a lockjaw. Calls for the lockjaw, but hits a neck breaker to set up for it. Taya escapes, hits some strikes and a spear. Looks for a road to Valhalla. Britt blocks that and reverses it into the lockjaw, and Taya taps out. It's kind of interesting. They brought Taya Valkyrie in, and she's like lost most of her matches.
She's like Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's basically the Dolph Ziggler of all that. Yeah, I was kind of bummed out that she got the win over. Get the win over somebody, that's fine. But Sky Blue, because I really feel like they got something decent with Sky Blue. They're building her up. She had a good Owen, and then she just sort of took the loss there. But yeah, I don't know. After that, we had the video package for Rampage. Nyla Rose cuts a promo on Sheeta. Says, "If you want a shot at Toni Storm, you got to go through me." Sheeta says, "Get out of my way, Nyla." And then we have a bunch of these tag teams here. Lethal and Satnam. I don't know where Jeff Jarrett is. But
where's Jeff Jarrett?
I don't know.
Is he recruiting 99 more Jeff Jarretts to join him in AEW?
So that there's altogether 100 Jeff Jarretts.
100 Jeff Jarretts.
Big Bill and Brian Cage. Ethan Page, who I haven't really seen. Maybe they're telling that story on Rampage or something. But he seems thoroughly okay with
seemingly
with Brother Zay.
Yeah.
Doing that stuff. And then the Hardy Boys, who are most definitely going to win this because this is coming up for a pay-per-view, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so it's going to be the Hardys.
Probably going to be the Hardys. Then we had an Andrade and Buddy Matthews video package hyping up their ladder match for Andrade's mask on Collision this Saturday. And then we had our main event, Best Friends versus Lucha Brothers versus Blackpool Combat Club. Fun match.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Chaotic. Mm-hmm. Mayhem all over the place.
Yeah.
For the most part, Blackpool Combat Club was just wrecking everybody.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But at the same time, Swerve and Darby should have been the main event. Mm-hmm. So at the finish here, this match completely breaks down at several junctures. So Mox hits Phoenix with a paradigm shift. Claudio starts wrecking Chuck with elbows, and then Mox stomps on Trent while Claudio hits Chuck with a Ricola bomb. Claudio is looking for another Ricola bomb with Trent, but Orange's music hits, so he comes to ringside. Hits Yuta with an orange punch. Mox meets Orange on the floor, and they're brawling. So then Trent reverses the Ricola bomb into a dude buster, covers, but he's not the legal competitor, so he can't get the pin. So then Phoenix super kicks Trent. Penta follows with a Fear Factor to get the win. And a brawl breaks out ringside. So next week we're getting Mox, like a massive brawl with everybody involved.
Yeah.
Just chaos. Next week they announce Mox versus Trent versus Penta. Anything goes.
Yeah.
So no DQ, essentially.
No DQ.
Forward, I would guess. So Penta gets to be the hardcore guy from TNA again.
Aren't triple? Oh, you think that's the direction it's going to go in? Because like triple threats are generally no DQ.
No
anyway.
DQ, yeah.
Yeah, but this is naming it whatever this is. Anything goes.
Anything goes, yeah.
Then
probably gonna be pretty violent.
Ups
Mox
the ante.
Mox is gonna bleed. Penta might bleed
for sure.
You
think they're gonna do the thing where like half of his mask is ripped off and you could totally see his face?
Yeah.
At least I mentioned this during the AAA pay-per-view. Is that the thing about Pentagon is that when his mask is ripped off, he has so much like face paint and other stuff going on. You can't really even see what the guy looks like.
Well, usually when they do, especially like in AAA in one of those mask versus mask matches, when they rip half the mask off or most of it off, within short order, the person is bleeding anyways.
There's so much blood. There's so much blood.
You go back to that one we watched between L.A. Park and Santos Escobar now.
Never forget, yeah.
Where L.A. Park, he pretty much had no mask on his face, but his face was just so covered in blood, you couldn't tell what he looked like anyways.
Yeah, right, yeah. Let's see. You're coming up later on today on the Friendo Club Wrestling channel. We're doing something a little bit new. We're guessing the star rating. So people seem to like whenever we have any sort of Dave Meltzer content on our channel. Because we do guess the star ratings for like new pay-per-views when they come out or when the Observer comes out and he reviews them. Well, we dug back into the archives of the Wrestling Observer and we're doing quizzes based on how we have to guess the star rating. So we have two old pay-per-views.
Yes.
And we quiz each other on that stuff. So
and if it does well enough, we'll do more of it.
If it does well, we'll do more. Let's see here. We'll answer some questions. Jet says, he says, oh, wow. In honor of Sinead O'Connor's passing, which is such a shame. She was awesome.
It really is.
Who are the top 5 Irish wrestlers of all time?
Wow.
I don't know that I'm educated enough to say anything beyond like, I don't know, Becky, Finn, Sheamus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, like going back way further, like Dave, Finley, I guess.
Yeah.
Fit Finley.
Fit Finley.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be like some big names out there, maybe local to,
Yeah.
Ireland, North
like wrestled
Ireland,
in the World of Sport days.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That I just wouldn't know. Yeah. Well, Maggie says Becky Lynch 5 times. So 5 Becky Lynches. That's what
5 Becky Lynches. Kyle says, which wrestlers have had amazing careers after Lucha Underground ended? Penta, Swerve, now AR Fox.
Yeah.
Io Shirai.
Ricochet. Yeah. Cobb.
Yeah. Phoenix. Santos.
Oh, Santos was on there too?
Yeah, he is King Cuerno.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I believe.
Cool.
Yeah, it's crazy the number of wrestlers who are like on all the shows now that were in Lucha Underground. It's crazy.
Taya Valkyrie and John Morrison. Now listen. I mean, he was in WWE first. Okay. Cam Davis says, if Going and Raw did their own brand split, which show would each of you be? So we do have 2 brands, Going in Raw and Friendo Club.
Yeah.
So which would you be, the podcast or the short form content?
I'm the older of the two of us.
Correct.
I'll go with the legacy content. I'll go with the podcast.
Okay, interesting. So I get my own Collision-esque short form channel. Okay, cool. Forbes MV says, by the way, speaking of other channels, my channel Wrestle Juice, I have like a side hustle called Wrestle Juice, where it's just Steve.
Just Steve. Well, sometimes I'm on there.
For the quizzes now, you are on there, correct?
Yeah.
And I gotta do like sometimes I do like tournament bracket things but wrestling related. Today I did one based on like who's the best member of the NWO. It's performing terribly compared to my other stuff. I need everybody to go to youtube.com/WrestleJuice and go watch that fucking thing because my God, it's just doing absolutely terrible right now. And
maybe I'll go watch it when we're done here too.
That'd be awesome. You don't have to actually watch it. Just click on it. Let it play for I don't know.
I'm curious.
A minute.
See who you determined is a top NWO member.
I won't tell you, but take a guess. And I just want to know.
Nash.
Okay.
No,
Forbes.
Jeff Jarrett.
100 Jeff Jarretts.
100 Jeff Jarrett.
I don't know how far Jeff Jarrett got into the thing.
If we're being honest with ourselves, WCW Jeff Jarrett wasn't that great.
Yeah, he really wasn't.
No.
Although maybe that's just our memories. Maybe we should go back and re-experience some Jeff Jarrett.
I don't know. I kind of feel like he wasn't that great back then. Jack Napier asked, do you think Tony Khan would book it that Adam Cole would be the one to turn... Oh, we kind of talked about this. Turn on MJF.
Oh, man. Pong here in YouTube chat says Wrestle Juice's Rampage. Ouch. That hurts, man, but it's probably true. I'm sorry. Are you reading the super chat right here? Is that what you're doing?
No.
Oh,
I read a question that we actually already kind of answered. What's the super chat?
Coach John Pliskin says, more of an NXT question. Could Dom survive without Judgment Day? And will you do a Great American Bash review? So we are going to do this weekend a watch-along of Great American Bash. That's happening. We're doing that. As for whether or not we're going to review it, I don't know. If people are interested, maybe we can give our thoughts on Monday, but we're already reviewing SmackDown and Collision on Monday.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, this kind of falls in line with you gluing the guns together. Patrick Kennedy here says, not wrestling related, but if you were both Jedi, would you have a single hilt or a double-bladed lightsaber?
Oh, you couldn't trust me with a double-bladed one. I would cut my legs off.
Immediately.
Yeah, I would be like, oh, this is cool. Oh, God, why did I just do that to myself?
I have the high ground now, Steve.
I'd be like, call an ambulance. Can we just time out, please, and call an ambulance? You win. I give up. I'm tapping out. So, yeah, no, it would be the single one. And even that, I'd be like, I don't know if I should be handling this.
You wouldn't be doing any of this stuff with it.
Right. The only weapon that I'd be suited for in Star Wars is what the Tusken Raiders have. Just that stick with a big thing on the end of it. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a great question here from Steve Klain. What would a Steven Larson painting look like?
Oh, man. I mean,
do you want one like Don and Kenny where we're like super jacked?
I feel like that is, no, I mean, maybe for you, because I know it's one of your goals is to, get jacked. So you be that. I'd be more like cybernetically enhanced.
Oh, okay.
I want the lazy way of being like, a specimen, of being like, oh my God, look at that guy. Look at how fast he runs. Look at how strong he is. Yeah, because he's got robotic everything, but still like this noggin right here of mine.
Yeah.
That's what I would want. So I'd be like a robotic, be like a Boston Dynamic type situation.
Ooh.
But sexy.
Well, have you seen those things move?
Like a huge cyber dong.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it'd be offensive. It'd
take you 5 minutes to get through a door, man.
Yeah, well, once I got through that door, there'd be some epic,
oh, wow.
old man happening. This is actually, Heather's got a great point. We already have our epic painting. It's behind you, Larson, right now. It's just normal you and I with Sid.
Yeah, it is pretty epic.
Yeah.
You heard to top that one. Disc golfing goon. Sorry, my goodness. What would FTR need to do to get back into your all's good graces? Here, listen. This is the deal. FTR as professional wrestlers inside the wrestling ring, they're great.
Oh man, they're
phenomenal.
Awesome. Yeah.
One of the best tag teams in the world. If you try to make the argument that they are the best, I'd listen to you.
Oh, sure, yeah.
They're a great wrestling tag team.
Yeah, the wrestling is phenomenal.
Wrestling is absolutely phenomenal.
Was there a caveat there? Give me the other side of that?
Oh, we talked about it's mostly Dax, the podcast stuff.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we have talked about it. So,
We've
in terms of
plenty, I didn't really feel a need to get into it,
to get it to. So, but to flip that, to be like, okay, what would they take as characters? Honestly, what it would take, and it's very simple for me, because I see character-wise maybe some parallels. If they were, to me, it always boils down to like, are you entertaining? Do I feel your character? And I honestly, with Dax, I just don't feel his character at all. I really don't. The whole, I feed my family thing, it just feels disingenuous. You know, it really does. If he was a piece of shit heel, that will almost always entertain me. If he sort of took a page from the book of Jeff Jarrett, I could probably totally get on board with FTR as characters on my screen.
You know what he'd probably do is, I have to cheat because that's how I got to feed my family.
Right, yeah. Money. I know, yeah. So, I mean, there's a way. I think they could be. I think there are aspects of their time in WWE when I was like, they're pretty entertaining. They're pretty funny. I can get on board with this. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Jonathan Vieira says, which of these two wrestlers would you go back and book properly, leading to a run with the WWE title? This is actually a pretty decent one. I know what your answer is going to be, and I know what my answer is going to be. But which of these two wrestlers would you rebook to have a more successful career in WWE? Taz in 2001, or Samoa Joe in 2016?
Oh, Samoa Joe.
It is Samoa Joe.
How much money they leave on the table not booking Samoa Joe is just an absolute force.
A lot. He is the best. He is absolutely the best. And I love Taz. Taz.
Yeah, Taz is great, but Samoa Joe might be top 5 promo guy all time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure he'd lose a promo battle. Like if you were somehow to get all 5 of the best of all time in like some sort of time-space vortex, like one of those alien ships we're going to find out about next year.
I mean, wow. I mean, it might be sooner than that, Steve.
Might be next weekend. You never know.
That guy had a list of witnesses for that.
I know.
That committee.
They're trying to reverse engineer shit.
They could be in there with some diagrams, might have some video.
Dude, like, I don't know if they should be trying to reverse engineer shit. Because I don't know what kind of energy source they would need. They could Oppenheimer us. They could blow up the entire world.
I know.
Eee.
I know.
Don't be messing with alien stuff, man.
No.
Just be cool.
I know.
Just deal with the shit that we already have. Hey, do you think, let me ask you something. Do you think any, like in this like little phone here, you think there's like alien tech that we reverse engineered?
It's entirely possible.
Right?
Because the dude said 1930s. It's the first.
Ooh, boy. Man, nightmare situation.
You got that right. On that note.
Yeah. Not going to do it for us today?
Yeah.
A little conspiracy theory outro right there. I like it. I like it a lot. Tomorrow, Skinwalker Ranch. No, what do we got tomorrow? What do we got coming up tomorrow? We
got a count out. We got to decide what we're going to do. That'll be out tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. We got a count out coming up tomorrow, so be sure to do that. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notify bell so you'll get that episode of Count Out. Top 10 wrestlers that are probably actually aliens.
It's good. There you go.
Holy shit. That'd be a fascinating one. Who do you think is on that list? Kenny Omega.
Bray Wyatt.
Darby Allin.
Yeah, that'll explain why he can take so much punishment.
One day he's gonna like hit the apron. He's gonna go. He's gonna start talking in his native alien tongue. Oh no, Darby Allin hit his head. He's an alien now again. What do you think they look like? You think they look like the Little Green Men or something weird?
I don't know.
That is already pretty weird.
I don't know. I mean,
you think they're slimy? Do they wear clothes?
Where do you know where the Little Green Men kind of?
Oh, I was thinking about that. I was like, man, because I want to know what these things look like. John Hosey says Brock Lesnar's gonna be on that list. Alpha alien right there.
Yeah,
that guy. Holy shit. Man, Mustache Vince is an alien. Maggie says she's going to ask ChatGPT.
Cool. Good
idea. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.